GameStop. Let's talk about GameStop. Whether you shopped there when you were younger for consoles, video games, etc., or whether you just found out about them in the past few years given the GME short squeeze, let's talk about their IPO, what they've been through, and of course, what happened or how they became so popular. Now, this person right here, Roaring Kitty, he was essentially the person that pushed for the short squeeze. Now, I'm actually going to dedicate a whole video or videos on this super interesting topic, but just remember for now, Roaring Kitty, he was the one that essentially initiated and pushed this through social media and other means for the stock to explode in the past few years. So let's actually dive into the numbers. GME stock, they went public in February of 2002. They went public for $18 per share, so that'd be about $1,800 if you would have purchased 100 shares at the time. They've gone through two stock splits, one in 2007, that was a 2-for-1 split. So if you had the shares at the time, you would then have 200 shares. If you still held the shares, in 2022, they had a 4-for-1 split, so you would then have 800 shares. So those initial 100 shares today, they would be 800 shares after both stock splits. Now, this is essentially the most updated price. This is not the peak. So those initial 100 shares would be 800. So your 800 shares would actually be worth now approximately $21,968. The current price, or at least as of the last close, was $27.46. So you'd have $21,968. Not bad, actually pretty good on a $1,800 investment. So this is the graph. You can take a look. Of course, GME was up and down for the past 2 decades. And then, of course, we can take a look there. That was, of course, absolutely crazy. That was back in 2021 when the whole short squeeze started. Again, I'm going to dedicate a whole video to that because there's multiple parts that you need to understand in order to understand what a short squeeze is. But if you take a look at that, that is absolutely crazy. Imagine buying at the low there. You would have made a ton of money. So if we look, $27.46, that was the closing price as of April 25th. So let's go ahead and do some calculations to see how much you would have had at the peak. I'm just going to hide the numbers here. So during the 2021 meme stock short squeeze, GameStop stock actually peaked at $483 per share, which is absolutely insane because you could have purchased the stocks in 2002 for 18 bucks. So that's how much you would have had if you would have bought at IPO for $18, 100 shares, never sold, and you sold at the peak. You would have had $386,000 with $400 to your name at that point. So that is absolutely crazy, a massive gain. Again, I'll make more videos just so you understand what a short squeeze is.